why some subcategories of drugs are more critical than the others. Sales of drugs are usually classified in broad categories like cardiac, gastrointestinal, pain, anti infectives, and so on. All these categories are large and growing fast, though in some periods there are subcategories within them that grow much faster and then obviously lift the broader category. Understanding which subcategory of drugs is driving sales is a good way to understand shifts in the pharmaceutical industry, in brands, and importantly, in disease profile, and thus how we could be possibly more forewarned in our own daily lives. For example, heart failure therapies grew 18% year on year last month, while diuretics grew 17% under the cardiac category, while anti-thrombotic agents grew 18%. On the other hand, under gastrointestinal drugs, oral electrolytes and probiotics grew 26 and 24%. Under vitamins, appetite stimulants grew 32%. Under pain, drugs for rheumatoid arthritis grew 23%. So while this obviously lifts the pain category, it is useful and perhaps insightful to know that arthritis or rheumatoid arthritis, to be specific, is driving a good part of it. Similarly, in neuro or central nervous system medicines, the anti-Alzheimer category grew 15%, and in the derma category, anti-dandruff grew 20%, which is of course interesting. Now, some of this could be seasonal, but some not. All these subcategories have sales of more than 200 crore rupees annually, according to PharmaRack, the pharma intelligence tracker. I spoke with Sheetal Sapale, Vice President at PharmaRack, and I began by asking her to talk about the trends she was seeing in these categories, and more importantly, what were the numbers telling us?
Since cardiac category is one of the biggest category and the fastest or high growth category that we see today, it also reflects the growth of lifestyle diseases that are happening in the market. So what I'm gathering from this is the cardiac categories, it's not just the antihypertensives. In cardiac category, antihypertensives contribute to almost more than 50% of the cardiac category. And hypertension as a condition is something which naturally happens as one ages. So that may be a age related aspect and to some extent a lifestyle related aspect. But then if you look at other categories within cardiac, which where you require lipid lowering drugs, anti-anginas, heart failure therapies, they are more critical, and they are more of increasing lifestyle disease and impact of those deteriorating lifestyle and impact of that happening on the people's health. When we did analysis of these areas, the problem seems to be pretty serious, because if you see, these categories are growing double digit, not just for the month of January, but in this last whole year. If I were to look at the MAT growth of these categories, even at a MAT level, these critical categories have grown by double digit. So it's not just over last month that it has grown high, but then over last year, these conditions have increased significantly. That is what I tried to highlight beyond the chronic thing, something which is impacting the overall health of the masses within the country.
So you're saying that lipid lowering drugs and heart failure drugs are being consumed at a dramatically higher level than 23. That's one. So I'll come back to that in a second. Some of the other categories that you've looked at is gastrointestinal, where you're saying, for example, probiotics has seen a huge jump. So again, my question in this case is, or oral electrolytes. So why is the jump seeming so sudden? As in, I can understand a gradual rise.
Yeah, so this is again a seasonal pattern. Antidiarrheals is a condition which usually one sees in the monsoon season, okay? But then if you look at the festive season of India evolves, if you see in the month of December, Jan, this is a period where a lot of marriages happen, lot of festivities do happen in this country. And this again correlates with lot of eating outside and leading to conditions like diarrhea or lot of loose motions, where you need to consume lot of probiotics, lot of oral electrolytes come into picture. So this is what is getting reflected in the growth of these categories.
Right, but it's still higher than what it was the year before. So the same conditions would have happened at the same time of the year or season in the year before as well, right?
Yeah, the consumption definitely has improved, or consumption has definitely increased as compared to what it was last year. Also, it is not that anything new or new activity has happened in the market, because in majority of the cases, this growth is because of some existing older products and no new introductions that have happened in the market. So these are sort of OTC products where, or almost OTC, OTX products whose consumption has improved.
Another segment that seems to have grown quite rapidly is rheumatoid arthritis under pain. So again, why the sudden jump there?
Rheumatoid arthritis, again, if you look in winters, arthritis is a condition which aggravates in winter season. And that is getting reflected in the growth in the rheumatoid arthritic category. Also, certain products which have come in the market, MABs, the TINIBs in the market, which are, little newly introduced molecules in the market, which have also driven the growth of this market. Since they are biosimilar or biological products, in terms of value, they are on a relatively higher side. That's the reason why they have pushed the value growth of the market also well.
Some of the other categories are appetite stimulants. That seems to have grown quite heavily. So why are people, are people eating more or trying to eat more or?
Appetite stimulant, it's again a sort of, I would say, a category which falls more into your tonic category, wherein you are trying to, people who are, or children or adults who are malnourished or adults who really are weak, you need to push them, their eating habits, so that they start consuming more. So that is something which comes in the appetite stimulant categories. So I don't say that people want to eat more, but it's more of a condition where you want to push people who are weak to eat more.
So now, if across the segments, of course, these are very different disease conditions, but across these subcategories, where we talked about lipid lowering, anti-anginal, diuretics, probiotics, rheumatoid arthritis, and you've also touched upon areas like anti-dandruff. What are the biggest categories, and therefore, thus reflecting what are some of the faster growing disease conditions or health conditions?
The smaller categories within the cardiac segment, if you look at the lipid lowering or the cardiac drugs, these are the categories, or growth in these categories indicates more critical aspects in heart care that is coming up. When it comes to other categories like oral antidiabetics, the oral antidiabetics as a category is really growing well. One is many of the products have gone off patent, or many of the critical molecules have gone off patent, and the branded generics are really affordable. So, a good amount of switch is happening to these products which have gone off patent. And also, there are certain therapies like semaglutide, which is the anti obesity drug, which comes in the anti diabetic category, which is picking up well, not just because of its higher value, but in terms of units also, the consumption is relatively better. So, this is one category which is picked up really well. Anti-asthma, arthritis, these are also the categories which are very strong category and which indicate many things within the country. For example, anti-asthma or anti-allergics category growing indicates deteriorating air conditions, or air quality index. If we keep on reading nowadays, there are a lot of comments on air quality index in certain cities, certain states having gone down, or it has gone down further. So that is again indicated in the increase in consumption of anti-asthma products, COPD products, or anti-allergic products. So there is a complete reflection of how the health parameters and the atmosphere parameters are fluctuating in the country, and how the consumption of different drugs is happening in the country.
Right, Sheetal, thank you so much for joining me.